You know that specific knot you get in your stomach? The one you feel when you're running for something or maybe leading a nonprofit, and you know you need help from a local church, but you are just absolutely terrified of crossing some invisible line.
Oh, yeah. The politics versus pulpit anxiety, it is so real.
It's paralyzing, isn't it? You feel like one wrong conversation, one accidental endorsement, and you've either ruined the relationship or, worse, jeopardized a tax-exempt status.
Right.
So today, we're doing a deep dive into the Church and Nonprofit Coalition Builder. It's part of the FaithFlow Campaign Series. And looking at this whole kit, I mean, there are guides, workbooks, even a song. It feels less like a campaign manual and more like a,
Yeah.
I don't know, survival kit for your conscience.
That is a really great way to put it, because the core promise here isn't about, just getting out the vote. It's really about removing the fear. The material really argues that the isolation so many candidates feel, that tightrope walk, it's just not necessary. You don't have to choose between your calling and your community. You need better boundaries.
Okay, let's talk about those boundaries.
Mm.
Because usually that word just means don't talk to anyone. But this guide starts with something called the green, yellow, red IRS lane handout.
Right, and this is basically the quick takeaway for the legal side of things. See, most people are always operating in that yellow zone, just vague worry.
Total anxiety.
This tool just makes it binary, it creates clarity. Green is safe, think. Voter registration drives or hosting a forum where everybody is invited.
And red is the big danger zone,
That's endorsing a specific candidate right from the pulpit.
which is the fastest way for a church to lose its 501c status.
Exactly. And for anyone listening who doesn't speak tax Korean, that's just the IRS rule that makes nonprofits tax exempt. Losing it is, well, it's catastrophic. This handout just turns that vague threat into a simple checklist. You stop guessing.
You start building, okay, so you've got the legal lanes down, but then there's the whole relational piece. I saw a tool in here called the MOU Lite. That sounds incredibly bureaucratic for a church partnership. Do you really need a contract to work with a pastor?
It does sound a little stiff, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The MOU is a memorandum of understanding. And in the corporate world, yeah, it's 50 pages of legalese.
Right.
But the light version here it's crucial. Think of it more like a relational safety net. It's just a one-page agreement that clearly says, here's what we are doing together, and just as important, here's what we are not doing.
So it prevents that awkward moment down the line where the candidate thought the pastor was basically campaigning for them.
And the pastor just thought they were cleaning up a local park together.
Yeah.
Precisely, it protects everyone's integrity. But if the MOU is the safety net, the Nemai Coffee one-pager is the real icebreaker.
I did pause at that one. It's labeled a kitchen table tool.
This is my favorite part of the whole kit, actually. It completely flips the script.
How so?
Usually, a candidate meets a leader to, pitch themselves. This tool structures that first meeting around a shared burden. You're not walking in saying, vote for me. You're saying, hey, we both care about the families in this neighborhood. Let's talk about how we can rebuild that wall together.
It moves the entire conversation from politics to partnership.
And that matters so much because of the theology behind all this. The source material keeps coming back to Ephesians 4.3 about keeping the unity of the Spirit. When a campaign becomes about shared stewardship instead of just winning, it actually guards against all the divisiveness we see everywhere else.
Speaking of divisiveness versus unity,
Yeah.
we have to talk about the most unusual item in this whole toolkit. There's a music track, a song called Kingdom Together.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest, my skepticism radar went up a little bit. Is this just filler?
I thought so too at first, but you have to remember this is all part of the FaithFlow rooted ministry system. They use a multi-sensory approach. The idea is that you can't just intellectualize unity, you have to feel it. The lyrics talk about being a single flame in the darkest night.
So it's an anchor then.
It's a reminder that your coalition is a testimony. In a really dark political season, the simple act of a church and a civic leader working together, that is the light. It grounds you emotionally before you walk into those tough meetings.
And this all connects back to the bigger FaithFlow idea of spiritual gifts, doesn't it? There's a little flipbook story in here that really drives this home.
Yes, the story of the reluctant coalition builder.
Right. And she wasn't a charismatic speaker. She wasn't some political animal.
No, and that's the absolute key. The whole FaithFlow system starts with a quiz to see how God actually wired you. This woman in the story, she realized she was wired for presence, not for performance.
The text says, walls fell where love rose.
She built a village of trust just by consistently showing up, with people who didn't vote like her or even worship like her.
Honestly, it's a relief. It tells you that you don't have to be the loudest voice in the room to build a coalition. You just have to be the most faithful one.
Alignment over performance, that's the whole mantra.
So if you're listening to this and you're feeling that isolation we talked about at the start, just know that these tools exist. You can navigate the IRS lanes, you can sign the MOU, and you can have that coffee without compromising who you are.
And here's the thought I want to leave you with. It's straight from the end of that flip book. It's something every candidate should probably tape to their mirror. When the balloons drop and the campaign is over, the goal isn't just to walk away with votes. The goal is to walk with a village.